I, the pure consciousness, or the sense of self-awareness. I, the pure consciousness, or the sense of self-awareness, would manifest the words of truth and would manifest the words of wisdom through his finite mind and through his finite body. Blessings be on my listener, the one who herself or himself has uncluttered from unnecessary drama and folk. Today I have chosen Today I have chosen a topic which is fear of unknown. Somebody wrote along those lines to me, but not quite like that. However, if I sum up all the things that they have mentioned, if I sum up all the things that they have mentioned, it comes down to that they are scared of unknown. If you understand what I am saying, you see. If I jot down or sum up in the summary, they said that they are scared of unknown. You see, that what lies ahead. So it's a beautiful thing that nature, which is the rules and the regulation of life. It's a beautiful thing that life has made it hidden from us, or in other words, the rules and regulation of life has made it hidden from us, that what lies ahead, you see. So there, first of all, there is no such thing as ahead. There is just now. You understand? There is just now. The unfolding of now. You see? And it's already there. I hope you understand what I'm saying. It's already there, but it has not manifested yet. If you are following what I am trying to tell you, that there is no point of being scared or have fear of unknown. You see, it's in other words, we realize, all of us, each one of us, every single creature, anything which has objectivity attached to it by its very definition would come to an end. You see, we know it profoundly. However, we are having trouble to come to terms with it. You see, profoundly, if you follow what I'm saying, profoundly we know it, but we are having trouble basically to come to terms with it. And the sooner we come to terms with it, the better off we are. Then we basically have no fear in us anymore, or we are not scared of unknown. You see, one thing we all know for certain, remember? We talked about that. One thing we all know for certain, that we come with an expiry date. Profoundly, each one of us knows that. However, we are still struggling to come to terms with it, if you understand what I'm saying to you. But it's a concrete fact. So when we know that profoundly, not through a thinking mind or through psychology, but when we know it profoundly, when we realize it profoundly, we are at peace. That very moment when we realize that we are at peace and we are not scared anymore. That's one way to look at it. Number two, the second way to look at it is most humans, most individual, most beings, whatever you want to call it, basically are scared because they don't know that what happens after. If you understand, most of us humans are scared um, because we don't know what lies afterwards, after when we shed the body, or what we understand as bodily demise. After that, what happens? I'm saying, a significant amount of humans, quite a lot numbers, because they know it happens, but they don't know what lies ahead. If you look at when you if you go to India, just follow my words, what I'm saying to you. If you go to India, India is very huge, by the way, in terms of area, and we are the second largest population in the world. So if you go to India, you come to realize that you travel to the suburbs of any major city, or go to South India or close to Himalayas, Mount Kailash, and places like that, you would see people over there that you couldn't wrap your thinking mind around them. It's impossible for you to figure them out. It's impossible. You couldn't make anything out of them. They have been in a deep samadhi, sometime for days, sometime for weeks. Anyway, the point is, it's related to your inquiry that you are scared of unknown. The point I'm trying to make is these people are not scared at all whatsoever. You see, they are in a samadhi. These are the yogis. These are the rishis. Remember, we talked about that yesterday. Rishi. These are the yogis, these are the rishis, these are the wise men. They are mostly silent. You see silent? You see this? They are mostly silent. They don't talk, you see. And but the magnitude of energy they produce is unbelievable, and the magnitude of their wisdom they encompass is unbelievable. You see, the reason they are capable of doing such miracles is because the way an average human, the way an average person looks at life, they do not look at life that way. You see, they look at life as a more profound way. You see, life manifests. If you are following, I'm trying to make a point here. Life manifests, or it is given birth. You see what I'm saying? Follow my words. Life manifests, or it is given birth by essence. If I hope you are following me. Life manifests, or it is given birth by essence. I'm sure that we have talked about that on and off in numerous retreats. And the sense is of being aware. You see, the sense of, and the sense is the sense of being aware. The sense itself is aware, and it gives birth to life, and then life manifest in different forms and different shapes. We have a term in Sanskrit, Nama Rupa. You see Nama Rupa. So these wise men or these yogis or these rishis, they are resting. They are already resting where the ultimate is, which is the sense of self-awareness or the sense of pure consciousness. They are already resting there. And the sense of self-awareness and the pure consciousness, Chit. I think that's the term I think that's the term we use in Sanskrit, Chit, or consciousness. This sense has always been, and this sense is all there is, you understand. This sense has always been, and this sense is all there is. And this sense is not going anywhere. This sense is not coming from anywhere. This sense is not local, as Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, which is essentially an Upanishads. You see this? Upanishads. We will not go into it right now. As Lord Krishna says that this in Bhagavad Gita, that this sense is not local. Fire cannot burn it. Air cannot put it off. It has no objectivity. When it has no objectivity, of course, it cannot be destroyed. When it has no objectivity and it is non-local, of course, it means it's out of time as you understand time in the three-dimensional reality. So the point I'm trying to make, these yogis are already sitting over there. The body is there, but they are in that realization, not realization by a thinking mind, not just talk about consciousness or awareness or chit, not just having, not just by posting memes about it on internet. Of course, they are far, far beyond and above everything, you see. And it takes numerous lifetimes, it takes tremendous amount of focus, it takes tremendous amount of dedication to get to that place, you see. But when you get to that place, such a being is very mighty and potent being, you see. Not mighty and potent in terms of money, wealth, connections, or authority. I'm not talking about these petty things. We, the yogis, are not interested in these petty things. The goal of the yogis is to see unity in humankind. Anyway, so they are already there. So there is no unknown for them. Now you get my point why I told you all this. So there is no unknown for them. I hope that's answering your inquiry. I have read your letter in detail and I sum that up, and this is how it is coming across, you see. So now they are already there. There is nothing hidden from them, you see. And each one of us is perfectly capable of getting there. That's my point. And you also, you to whom it is concerned or to whom it may concern, and also the person who inquired, you also can transcend that fear. And the reason and the way you would transcend that fear, that you would realize what unknown is, or what lies ahead. What your mind thinks of unknown is also known to you. It may come across very strange to you what I'm saying, but I'm telling you the truth through my own experience. Otherwise, I wouldn't mention that to you. I don't talk to you fictional. I don't talk to you sci-fi. I don't talk to you all three dimensional realities. I don't talk to you. I talk to you on your very experience, or my at least. So I know it for a fact. The unknown is even known. You see, unknown is even known profoundly. Some of us have got there already, so we realize that through our experience, and some of us are still struggling to get there, you see, but the destination is the same. The goal of human life is to shed karma. The goal of human life is to find happiness without any outside help. The goal of human life is to realize Chit, or what you understand as God in religious circles. You see, the goal, the goal of human, excuse me, the goal of human life is to realize, the goal of human life is to realize God while remain in the human body. Remember, not long ago I told you about those yogis and wise men and rishis. You see, that's what's happening. It's still in the body, but fully realizing God, or consciousness, or the sense of self-awareness. You see, Eknath Eswaran was one of the Hindu teachers. Recently, my spouse Bridget, she got me a couple of books, and I'm going through his books. But he is not new for me. I know him for years and years, when I was very small even. He passed on. He wrote a remarkable book about Bhagavad Gita, which is the sacred book in Hinduism. I hope you are following me. He wrote a remarkable book about Bhagavad Gita, which is the sacred book in Hinduism. And he basically he explains, as I said, that essentially Bhagavad Gita is an Upanishad. And he explains Bhagavad Gita in his words. He is more like a narrator for Bhagavad Gita, because of course it's in Sanskrit and it has been translated in every known language on the planet. It's a remarkable book. If one understood fully and completely, that would liberate the person. I'm not joking with you. Anyway, so he writes in that book that life is a river of God flowing from him and flowing to him. Life is a river of God flowing from him and flowing to him. You see, in other words, what he's saying, and in other words, what he's saying, that life is the river of God, starts from him and ends to it. You see, every story that human understands, every story or the sense of individuality, the human knows that I am an individual, it's a delusion. Only God is aware of itself. The rest is a story. I'm telling you the truth. What you understand yourself is in reality, in the ultimate truth, it has no existence, you see. And then people get arrogant, and then people get cocky. The humans, rather, they get arrogant and they get cocky and they plan for numerous years and they plan for and they think they are something. Actually, they, in ultimate reality, I'm liberating you. In ultimate reality, one has no existence, you see. In ultimate reality, it's only God which exists, and it's knowing itself through different forms and different shapes, or the sense of self awareness. It's the only sense which there is. You and me are in the process. You see, what you understand, you, and what I understand, me, are just different forms which are manifesting in the process. When we look at life, you see what I'm saying to you? I'm liberating you. Not only I'm answering your inquiry, but I'm liberating you. When we look and fully realize, you see, not reading through memes and having a few drinks and all that hanky panky, but when we become serious enough to understand what's really happening, then the suffering goes away. Have you noticed that? Then the fear, the sadness, everything goes away. When we realize fully and in truth that it's only consciousness, or it's the sense of self-awareness, or the chit, you see, it's only that exists. When we look through the perspective of self-awareness, we become fearless. Then there is no such thing as unknown. Then everything would be known to you. If you get there and you look at everything through the perspective of self-awareness, you are liberated. This is what we understand as enlightenment. Enlightenment is not an experience which would happen to you in a timely fashion and leave you in some type of altered state. No, it's 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 rubbish. It's it's not like that. Enlightenment is when you look at everything through the perspective or through the eyes of self-awareness. Then you have no fear of unknown because everything is known. Then you have no fear of losing anything. Then you understand you always are, you always have, and you always will be. You see, when you look, it's just a change in perspective. Looking, you can look at the creation through the perspective, through the perspective of an individual. Are you following what I'm saying to you? You can look at the creation through, you can look at the creation through the perspective of an individual. Or number two is you can look at the creation through the perspective of creator. Please know and remember that I have tried to make it so easy to give you the solution and to liberate you. This is such a difficult topic for most humans to even explain, but I am doing my best, and I'm sure you know that. You see, the individual, a human individual, the mind and the body and all the psychological drama and all the relations and all the bands that they are attached, basically it has no existence of its own. When the sense of self-awareness, when the sense of self-awareness interacts itself, it gives birth to life, then you and me come into the picture. But we have no individuality of our own apart from the sense of self-awareness. All there is the sense of self-awareness. When we look at through the point of view of the sense of self-awareness, we are limitless, you see. When we look at through the point of view, through the perspective of an individual, the shock would come, you see, because you think this is what you are. You think this is a mind, and you have, and you have a body and you have all the psychology and everything what comes with it. It gives you a sense of individuality. It gives you a sense of individuality. But in reality, it does not exist because everything is basically manifesting, and you the reason you have a mind, you see, the reason you have memories and the reason you have emotions is because through this, the sense of self-awareness is knowing itself by giving you a sense of individuality. And the goal of human life to have that, to be born in that sense of individuality and yet get to the sense of self-awareness. You see, the words I'm sharing with you right now, you cannot find it anywhere, not in any book. These are the words when I go. You understand? I like to read every now and then. It is correct. If I see something which is worth my attention, I make it my own. That's what mysticism is. You see, I do not accept or discard anything in the very first place. However, the words of truth and the words of wisdom I'm giving you, and I know it through my own experience, these words are not, this is pure wisdom. You understand? This is liberation. It would liberate you to a point that you would have no fear of unknown because everything would be known to you. And this, all this happens to me. You see, all this knowledge. It's not the knowledge for me, it's the reality. I live there all the time. It all happens to me without a single thought, only by going in a very profound state of samadhi or meditation. It just floods on me. You see, you cannot find these things anywhere. That's why the yogis or the wise men, we the sense of self awareness, chit or pure consciousness, we are here and we liberate humans. We have volunteered before we took this form. We have volunteered ourselves for this purpose. If you understand what I'm saying to you, we have volunteered ourselves for this purpose. And of course, when we realize fully, and we are wise, the sannyasis and all that are not around for an extremely long period of time and rare to find. Some of us remain silent, as I mentioned in India, you know. Some of us like to speak and spread the words of truth and wisdom. So anytime the humankind listens to the words of truth and wisdom, uh, the humankind basically can be liberated and they can have freedom. They can see things more clearly, you see, and then they can live in peace, then they can live in harmony, then they can live in unity. Then they wouldn't argue about small things, who is right, who is wrong. Then they wouldn't argue about I am right or my spouse is wrong, he's right, or she's wrong, or she's right, or he's wrong. These are some small petty things that does not even deserve your attention. You see, proving each other right or wrong, or you know what is, this is the rule and this and that of a particular event, and then there is a debate which goes on. There are egos, you know. Somebody says this is the rule I made. it's my way or highway. The other says, this is the rule I made. Why should I follow your rule? So every individual is fighting for something which is so meaningless, and it creates a lot of confusion among humans. It creates a lot of drama among humans because humans are creating duality left and right all the time. Then humans become very agitated with each other. Their their egos clashes with each other, and they don't communicate with each other. Their psychological drama rages out of their control, and they say, why should I apologize? Why cannot this person apologize? Why it even made the mistake on the top of everything? Why should I apologize? All this is egoism. It's a what Deepak Chopra used a word for that, psychologically induced hallucination. If you understand what I'm saying to you, that it is basically a psychologically induced hallucination. The ego, what is ego basically? Ego is when you see at the creation through the point of view of a mind and a body, then that's all it ego is, isn't it? Then you say, I am right, this is my rule, other has to follow my rule. The other person says, now why should I follow your rule? This is my rule, you should follow this rule. I am right, you are wrong. The egos are clashing. Why should I apologize first, but I didn't even make the mistake? And why? All this is happening because there is a sense of individuality. You see, egos are clashing. Humans are not getting along with humans, not just in this society, but throughout the globe, throughout the world. This is happening. In third world countries, sadly and unfortunately, it happens quite a bit. In more progressed countries, it happens less, and in first world countries, it happens less, but it still happens. And people are, if they are not expressing themselves, but then they are carrying resentments, they are becoming passive aggressive. These are all the sicknesses of the society we live in. Don't you think so? We need to bring clarity in your perception so you can see that there is no you and I. A person who has tremendous focus only can get there. You see, a yogi has a tremendous focus. Nothing basically can distracts. That's the word I'm looking for in English. Nothing can distract a yogi. You see, a yogi has tremendous amount of focus. You can see all these things clearly when you have tremendous amount of focus in you. When your mind is going haywire, you would always be engaged in you and I, and you would always be conflicts with yourself. You see, you would always be creating dualities left and right. Duality is the sense of individuality and then the sense of others. You see, now you have taken a pure human form. That's in Toltec wisdom, which originated in southern Mexico. The Toltecs called it human form. You understand? So now the person has taken a human form, and the person looks at creation through the eyes of individual, which is a hallucination. You do not exist in a in a nutshell. I'm telling you. You understand? I'm not trying to be mean or downplay your ego. I'm trying to give you liberation that you don't. I see that way. You see, for the most part of the day, if you are hearing what I'm saying to you, for the most part of my day, I see that way. I see there is no me or there is no you. You see, I see that this is just the the flow of the river, flowing through, flowing from God and flowing to God. In the process, life has been given birth, and that gives birth to different forms and different shapes. It's in the end, the chit, the self-awareness is trying to know itself. So when we get to that level of clarity, then we are not scared of anything, because there is nothing unknown to us. Excuse me. There is nothing unknown to us. Then everything becomes known to us. If you understand what I'm saying to you, then nothing is unknown to us. Then everything becomes known to us. We know everything that there is to know, and we have tremendous amount of clarity. And then we say, when we look at each other, we say, I see myself in this person. When you see yourself in every other person you come across, then there is no conflict, isn't it? Then there is no conflict. You see yourself in everything, and the sense of oneness. You see yourself in every creature. You see yourself in everything. Imagine a society, how peaceful that would be. And that is the goal of the yogi, to see that paradise. Remember the Milton, I think it was Milton, wasn't it, who wrote Paradise Lost? You see, so remember the Milton's Paradise Lost. We are trying to claim that paradise. We, the wise people, we the yogis, we the rishis, are trying to show you and bring clarity that stop all the nonsense. You see, to put it very blunt, stop all the nonsense about the ego. Who is right, who is wrong, I'm right, I'm wrong, is my way or highway, my rule or this rule or that rule, or your rule, why should I follow your rule, or my way or highway, and all that happens. It is all duality, you see. Non-duality is a very powerful state of the being. Please remember that. You see what I'm saying to you? Non-duality is a very powerful state of the being. I have clarified and approached it in a way that I have not missed a single thing. You see, the next session is going to be meditation for everyone who is in need. It's going to be a silent meditation. Everyone who is in need, you see, including us too. The energy we encompass in during this meditation, it would go to people who are in the need of it most. Okay, let's do some good. You see, let's do some good while yet we are in the human form. Let's do some good. When we do good, that good carries eternity with us. You see, that good carries eternity with us. Love, peace, unity for each one of us.